All right, everybody, thank you. Thank you for hopping on and joining me tonight, talking about a hot topic in health and wellness and nutrition, and that is about GLP-1. So GLP-1 is all the rage right now in the weight loss category, especially with prescription medicines and injections. And people are really successfully losing a lot of weight where they have not been able to lose weight in the past. But with the injections, they've been, very, very successful. But with injections and medications, there's side effects. And so tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about how you can increase your GLP-1 naturally without injections and without prescriptions. So everybody, I'm Joanne Shear-Parkin. I'm a dietitian and nutritionist, and I have quite a bit of experience in the weight management field. In fact, over 40, 50 years, and literally thousands of patients that I have counseled in weight management. So let's get started. So GLP-1, what is that? That's glucagon-like peptide 1. It's a hormone that's produced in the cells in your small intestine. You eat a meal, and at 30 minutes to an hour later, then this hormone is released. And this hormone acts on 3 of your body's organs: the brain, the pancreas, and the stomach. Now, this hormone has several functions in the body, and tonight I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 that are related to weight management. The number 1 is blood sugar regulation. So this hormone stimulates the release of insulin from the pancreas. Insulin brings glucose down. At the same time, this hormone suppresses another hormone that's in your pancreas called glucagon. Glucagon raises blood sugar. So like when you're fasting and you need to keep your blood sugar all leveled up, that's when glucagon goes to work. So what it does, as GLP hormone does, it balances out the blood sugars. Next, it is an appetite suppressant. And how that works is GLP acts on the brain, and it travels up what's called the gut-brain axis. Oh boy, almost blew that one, didn't I? The gut-brain axis, and to tell you that you're full. And second, it slows down the emptying of your stomach, so you feel full longer and you're more satisfied. It's called satiety. So yes, I already mentioned the gut-brain axis. And this is how your microbiome and your gut works to tell you that you're full and don't eat anymore, is that you have these hormones that are produced in the gut. GLP-1 is just one of several. And then what those hormones do is they travel up to your brain and tell you that you're full. GLP-1 does more than that. It kind of quiets what people call food noise, which is this constant thinking about food. Like you're sitting and watching TV, and while you're watching TV, you're just thinking about food. And so this hormone acts primarily on your brain. Now, starting back about 2005, the first GLP-1 drug was brought to market, and it was for diabetes. In fact, I remember this drug, this Byetta drug. I was a certified diabetes educator at the time, and it was like a breakthrough in medications for people with diabetes. It was very effective. And what it does is, what this hormone does is it mimics the effects of GLP-1. It does not increase your supply of GLP-1. It just mimics the effects by just attaching to the same receptors and then kind of acting like the GLP-1 hormone. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is how you can increase that GLP-1 hormone naturally. Just get your gut to produce more of it. So that's what we're going to talk about more tonight. But what happened then when these people with diabetes were taking this injectable medicine is they were starting to lose weight. So then pharmaceutical companies thought, aha, what if we increase the dosage? And that's exactly what they did. They increased the dosage to 4 to 5 times of what the diabetic patients might be getting, and then brought several of these drugs to market. And I'm sure you've been reading and hearing about a lot of them. Now, these have been drugs, I've actually said in the beginning, have been really a godsend for a lot of people that have been resistant to losing weight. And so that's wonderful. But what's not so wonderful is there's a lot of side effects to these GLP-1 agonist medicines. In the short term, there's nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and then loss of lean body mass. And up to 50% of the lean body mass that is lost is up to 50% of your total weight lost is your lean body mass. Now, with any diet that you go on, whether it might be Weight Watchers or whatever, and you lose weight, it's common to lose up to 20, 30% of your lean body mass. So if you've lost, 60 pounds, you might lose 10 or 20 of that might be your lean body mass. But with these medications, it seems that this is a severe issue, is the loss of the lean body mass. And that's a problem because your lean body mass is your metabolic machinery. This is what burns calories in your body. It's what your metabolic rate is really mostly dependent upon, is how much muscle mass and lean body mass you have. And the problem with that is once you lose the weight, trying to keep the weight off is really difficult. Now, I saw this news report here recently, just August 31st. Dr. Nicole Safier was reporting on this, and she talked about how, people gain the weight back. In fact, she reported that people gain 2/3 of the weight back within a year of stopping the medication, and with some people consuming more calories than before the medication. And so I attended some webinars that were sponsored by the Academy of Nutrition Dietetics and a couple of the pharmaceutical companies that were manufacturing these drugs. And it was very clear that the guidance that they were providing people is that you must stay on these medications indefinitely in order to keep the weight off. So that is really something I think people have to think about before they start the medications and these injections, that they have to think about, do they want to commit, and are they willing to commit to a lifetime of injections? And so for some people that are very overweight and obese, it's kind of like a risk-benefit ratio for them. The side effects of the drugs may not outweigh the risk of some of the risk of obesity. So that's kind of the bad news, right? With the GLP-1 injections. But I'm here to give you some good news. You can increase your GLP-1 naturally, and there's 3 approaches I'm going to tell you about that you can do. One is promote your healthy microbiome, eat foods that increase the GLP-1 naturally, and then supplement with a GLP-1 activator from Life Antage. So let's talk about the microbiome. And I don't know if I could see your hands up out there. I wish I could. How many of you heard about the microbiome? It's been all over the news and health and wellness in the last, 20 years. And I've heard it described as your second brain, your microbiome. And it's also the most important organ that you never thought you had. You have 10 times more DNA in your microbiome than in the rest of your body. And it's a balanced ecosystem, 70 trillion cells. Wow. Now, your microbiome affects your overall health and wellness. And an unhealthy microbiome is associated with some really nasty diseases, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, autism, cancer. And you have decreased immunity with a poor microbiome. And now more recently, and I'd say in the last 20 years, they're finding a huge association with an unhealthy microbiome and obesity. I have to have a glass of water here. Hold on. So I found this report on one of my favorite YouTube channels. And this researcher was presenting on a study that was published now, I would say maybe 15, 20 years ago. And the title of this particular talk was, Does Your Microbiome Make You Fat? And in this particular study, what the researchers did is that they took fecal material from obese people and fecal material from lean people. And then what they did is they implanted that into different mice. And they found that on the same diet, the mice that got the obese microbiome got fat. The mice that got the lean microbiome stayed lean. So this launched an enormous amount of research into looking at very specific microbes in your gut, probiotic bacteria, commensal bacteria, beneficial bacteria, trying to study and figure out exactly which strains of those probiotics could be providing a protection from obesity. Now, one that they've recently found, and I wanted to highlight this one because there just seems to be a lot of buzz about Akkermansia muciniphila. And they've discovered that there's an inverse relationship between Akkermansia and obesity. So if you have a low amount of this particular microbe in your gut, greater risk of having obesity. Further research shows that it stimulates the production of GLP-1. So it makes sense, right? That the more this microbe is producing GLP-1, the greater the chances you are of staying lean. Now, how can you really support in your microbiome? So I'm going to talk about 3 approaches and 3 strategies. One is to eat a diverse amount of fiber, a diversity of fiber, a whole wide range of fiber foods, fiber-containing foods. And the guidelines are to consume about 25 to 30 grams a day. Americans are consuming only maybe 10 to 12. So most of us can do better at that. And one thing you can do is download a food tracking app and track your fiber intake. If you've never done that, is a great little project for you to do that. Now, this is what not to do. This is what I call the gut busters. This is what destroys your microbiome. First of foremost is our highly processed, refined diet in America, loaded with food additives, artificial preservatives and chemicals. And even they have found in some of residues of glyphosate in our microbiomes. Glyphosate is found in the herbicide Roundup. So glyphosate is particularly toxic to your microbiome. Prescription medications, especially the NSAIDs, those would be like ibuprofen and Aleve. And of course, we all know antibiotics really do wipe out your gut. So make sure that if you ever go on antibiotics, that you're taking some probiotics and prebiotics. And that's the next subject, because that's what you should do on a daily basis, really. And this is another way to really support your healthy microbiome. And that is to take probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. So if you think of your gut like a garden and the relationship to these supplements, the probiotic is like the seeds in your garden. The prebiotic, these fibers, are like the fertilizers for the probiotics. And the postbiotics are like the compost pile, because those postbiotics are formed from fermentation. And this product, Daily Wellness, has a postbiotic in there. It's a fermented yeast extract that's in there. Now, how does the probiotic and the prebiotics help to increase your GLP-1 hormone? And that they do. So when the probiotics feed on the prebiotic fibers, they produce something called short-chain fatty acids. It's those short-chain fatty acids in your colon that trigger the activation and increase the release of not only GLP-1, but another powerful anti-hunger hormone called peptide 1,1. Now let's drill down and look a little more specifically at the foods that can increase GLP-1. Now there are 5 different categories. There's those polyphenol-rich foods: spinach, kale, green tea, berries, and pomegranates. The next category is healthy fats: olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. And particularly, I just read recently about pistachios being probably the most powerful GLP-1 activation seed. Then there's soluble fiber from oats, barley, beans, lentils, and some fruits and vegetables. Now, soluble fiber acts a lot like GLP-1. It absorbs water in your stomach and it delays gastric emptying. We've already talked about prebiotic fibers in a supplement, but there are foods that are also high in prebiotic fibers. That's garlic and onions, apples, asparagus, green bananas. And in the protein category, one of my very favorite foods, eat them almost every day, and that's eggs. Eggs are particularly beneficial in helping to increase your GLP-1. So I don't know about you, but when you're reading that list of foods, did you think about the Mediterranean diet? That's exactly what I thought about. And in fact, I did a little research and I went to my favorite AI program and Perplexity. And I asked Perplexity, I said, does the Mediterranean diet increase GLP-1? And yes, indeed. Through research studies that Perplexity sent me. And the first study was one study showing that eating a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil for 28 days resulted in significantly higher GLP-1 blood concentrations after meals versus consuming a high fiber vegetarian diet. That was interesting, right? Because we would think that the vegetarian diet would be like the best, very best, but no, actually the Mediterranean diet outperformed the high fiber vegetarian diet. So that's good to know, right? So what I did was I thought I'd give you an example of some GLP activation meals. This was my breakfast yesterday, and this in the middle is red lentil soup. And of course, this is like one of my favorite dinners with some salmon and some vegetables. So, and look at the fiber in that. Isn't that great? You can meet your fiber goals there too. So drum rolls, coming soon. And launching soon, and there's so much excitement about this. And I'm very excited, and that is Bifantage is launching a GLP-1 product system. There's 2 products in the system. You take 2 pills once a day, and there's 4 scoops of powder. And this is really exciting because if you look at the benefits of these scientifically proven benefits of the supplements, our company's been running a lot of research on these products and found to be clinically proven to enhance that GLP-1 production, quiet the food noises, balance the hunger hormones, curb the cravings. So when you think about some of the benefits that you're seeing, with the medicines, injections, this is providing similar benefits and without the side effects. Now, since these are dietary supplements, there's no injections or prescriptions required. So this is what we know so far, and this is the update. Now, because the patent has been filed and we don't have the release of that patent or know the text, so our company's holding tight, trade secret tight on the formula. So we don't really know exactly what the formula is. But the company has run quite a bit of studies on that unique formula, not on the individual ingredients, but the formula. There's a human clinical trial in process. Plus, there's another consumer group that have been now for the past 2 weeks have been taking the 2-product GLP-1 activation system. And we're starting to get some reports back, and it's very exciting. Very exciting. So let's read some of those. Energy is something that almost everybody is reporting, and they just feel better, more energy. This gal says a clear head, but mental acuity. This one said she hasn't been hungry, and food noises definitely quieted. This one, I had no idea I could feel any better than I already do. That would be kind of me, but I'm going to try it anyway. And this gal said that she is loving the product. And she said, self-control has been downloaded into my being. My head is in control of my body. This one said, I have not been hungry since I started. The food noise is definitely quieted. And here's, whoops, let's go here. Let's go back. And here's Marcy's story. And she posted this on one of our Facebook groups. And she's been on the activators for 10 days. She lost 3.8 pounds, 7 3/4 inches overall lost, and 3 inches from her waist. This is really interesting because I was just listening to another one of the gals that's in this trial group, and she was reporting almost something exactly like Marcy's experience. She said she was down 2 weeks, down 6 pounds in 2 weeks. She lost 5 1/4 inches and 3 inches around her waist. So what it's showing me, and which is really fairly positive and encouraging, is that the weight seems to be coming off around the central area, which is probably the most dangerous place to carry extra weight is around your waist, because that increases your risk of a serious condition called metabolic syndrome. And so already we're getting these reports and just, how people are losing inches and losing it in the right places. Now, let's see, I'm going to go back here to the price. This was just released today, was the pricing. So the consultant price is right at that $160 a month. Customers on subscription, about $180, and retail is around $200. Now, I mean, looking at this, and right now I'm kind of speaking to some of the guests here that are on the webinar, or those that may be listening to the recording, is that, there's a lot of people out there that really need these products. And if you're excited and you'd like to get started, then think about other people that you could share this with, because if you just have 8 customers, that'll pay for your products. And then you can maybe take it further if you'd like, because LifeVantage has a great Evolve compensation plan. And so for our guests, get back to the person who invited you and learn more about that. So I was looking at the price point. So some of you are thinking, well, that's really so much less, right, than the injections, because there's so many people out there that are having to pay out of pocket for the injections. And those injections are anywhere from $800 a month to $1,500 a month. So this is incredibly affordable in relationship to the injections. Okay, so what you can do now to prepare for the GLP activator launch. If you haven't started on Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, I highly recommend you get started today, because if you are carrying extra weight or you're obese, you have high oxidative stress. And Protandim lowers that oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days. And so your body is going to respond better to the GLP-1 activation system if you will get your oxidative stress down and get that down before you get started. So get started today on Protandim if you're not on it. Next would be, of course, is the prebiotic and probiotic to work on the health of your gut. Right now, LifeVantage has a gut essentials stack that includes the Protandim, the prebiotic, and the probiotic. I think it's right around $137. So this will really get you, get your low oxidative stress low, get your gut health improved before you start. And if you want to join us in Kansas City for the launch of the products, we're all excited. We're going to be there October 11th and 12th. Get registered and meet us there in Kansas City. And because lifestyle and nutrition and fitness, all those things do not come in an injection or a pill or a potion, Nikki Elsing and I have launched a new YouTube website. It's called Confessions of Two Dietitians. And we're publishing and producing dozens of short videos on every topic, from like how how much protein do you need to eat every day, all the way to, we just recorded one recently on seed oils, like what are they and are they really that bad for you? That kind of thing. So go to YouTube and look for our YouTube channel, Confessions of Two Dietitians. And with that, I'm going to close with this particular diagram because, like I said, I've worked in weight management with hundreds, thousands of people over the years that I've been in nutrition. And over the years, we realized that people would be more successful in losing the weight and keeping it off if they followed a comprehensive weight management system that included all of the factors that contribute to overweight and obesity. And I was looking at this and thinking, what's really been missing, and the missing link has really been GLP activation, because that GLP activation is what helps to control the hunger in the brain and then the mind. And it's really the key missing link, so to speak. And, I also got to thinking about, looking at, your unhealthy microbiome, and that, really looking at the root cause, like in LifeVantage, we talk about that a lot, like not just putting, Band-Aids on problems, but actually getting down to root cause. And I got a kind of a little bit of an inside scoop tonight on one of the products. And I didn't know this until just about 20, 30 minutes ago, that the powder is a fiber probiotic drink. And so I suspected it would be something like that because I knew how important your microbiome is for weight management. I've been teaching this for several years, and so it's not surprising. So I just want to thank everybody that has joined me tonight. Sorry about the little bit of the technology glitch in the beginning. It was like I had two different programs opened and I was trying to figure all that out. So thank you for your patience and hanging in there with me. This is going to be recorded and I am recording this. So I will get the recording out. So I want to thank everybody for being on tonight. And I hope you're as excited as I am about the launch of this great product. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you very much.
It was great.